hostile. I got a right to be hostile, man. My people been persecuted.
Testing 1 2. Here we go. AC Sports Live on another Tuesday, the 24th day of March. We're rolling on through the longest month for me, at least, where there's no breaks, and especially adding football to the schedule. Been ripping and running non-stop. 6 a.m. workouts this morning. Deadlifts, power cleans, planks. I'm actually working with the boys to box a little bit in our warm-ups. It's amazing to see kids that are so athletic and gifted struggle a little bit with something as simple as a basic 1-2 punch. So we actually learning some new things. It's a cool little group of guys I got, man. Proud of their progress. They're on the field getting excited about upcoming season. So look for big things out of them. I'm talking about that a little bit during the show. AC2 is at practice tonight, so he might join us, he might not. Whittier College is on the field, and he can't participate yet because he's not fully on the team, because he's not enrolled in school. The timing was just not off, so all the D1 bounce backs have to wait to, I believe, summer workouts. I think they can join in the summertime. They'll be joining in the fall, and he can't wait. He's chomping at the bit, which is normal. When you're that young and full of energy and excitement and intrigue on what the possible future might entail, you can't wait to get out there. So he's watching practice in meetings and all that stuff. So I'm glad he's down the street. Come home, grab a plate to eat, sit down and talk about it. He's probably going to go to the park and throw balls. He's obsessed right now catching the football, which is a great thing. It's a good obsession. It's a good addiction. They're just working out. My one concern is his new workout partners are the brothers downtown doing calisthenics. You know, your body weight, doing push-ups and pull-ups and all kind of craziness downtown outside. And those guys are hardcore. And I told my son, your hands are very important in the position that you have changed to. So protect your hands. He got all kind of callus and cuts on his knuckles and all kinds of stuff, trying to be tough with those dudes. Protect your investment, man. On tonight's show, we got Team USA. The flag football Team USA dominated the NFL players this past weekend. What does that say about NFL players? What does that say about the flag football players? We'll talk about that. My NCAA bracket, we're going to check in with that. See how busted it is at this point. I was 18% last when the tournament started. I was already looking like I needed to throw my bracket away, but I still have my men's and women's leaders. The teams I chose to win are still alive, so I still have a little life. Take a look at my bracket. I haven't looked at it. I'm just watching the highlights of different teams. I forgot who I picked in most matchups. I know my Final Fours are most likely not intact because so many teams got beat, including Florida, who won the whole thing last year. My 2 cents. Is sportsmanship a thing of the past? I'm seeing a lot of unsportsmanlike conduct at handshake opportunities. I wonder what's being taught these days. I'll be pretty surprised if anybody that I coach doesn't have good sportsmanship, because I'm thinking to myself, 1% make the pros. If we're not teaching life skills within our sport, what are we doing? My 10-11 report. UCLA Bruins got bounced out the first round. Well, not the first round, the second round before the Sweet 16. But Mick Cronin's response, his post-loss response, was something that I thought was tender love worthy. So we'll talk about that. And my mental reps. Let's get back to men's mental health, man. We're not going to let that network that we used to be on take that message. We got to continue to preach that. So now being with Sideline Sports, we can bring that back, man. So on mental reps tonight, focusing on you. All right, so Team USA put hands on NFL players in a flag football event put on by Fanatics. First thing that jumped out to me was how hard guys were playing. And what made them play with this type of intensity. And then guys getting showed up in a sport that they thought would be easy. And I have to be one that eats crow and says, I was wrong. I too thought the NFL players would go out there and destroy the flag players, because during the pandemic, or was it just last year, this guy, Daryl Doucette, was going viral for saying how they would destroy NFL players. And I'm like, they showed a clip of him throwing the football, and it looked like it hurt his shoulder every time he threw it. And I was like, there's no way this little itty bitty guy is going to be effective versus NFL players. Turns out the flag football game is built for little itty bitty shifty guys, and guys that can throw the football no matter where they are on the field, because there's a lot of double passes. There's a lot of short dink dunk shiftiness going on. Guys dropping below waist level when it's time for their flag to be pulled, and they're really, really crafty, and they know how to play that game. So my drill brothers, we had a discussion. We were trying to say, well, what is this equivalent to? I said it was equivalent to a mixed martial artist fighting in the boxing ring. You're not in an advantage situation because you're tough and mean. You're now in a skilled activity where this is not your sport. And of course, we went back and forth different comparisons of what it was like. But put the pads on and these little guys will get destroyed. But you go into their arena, you're on their court playing their sport. Of course, they're going to embarrass you. Now, I think the score was 80 something to 30 something in the number of games they played with the Team USA versus the NFL two squads. And the NFL squads had YouTubers, you know, iShow Speed and Logan Paul were playing. So it was also an entertainment thing. But did it show? Did it expose? No, it's two different sports. It's apples and oranges. NFL guys are big and strong and can take hits. Flag guys are small, shifty, and can avoid hits. It's two different things. We saw some exciting plays, one-handed grab by OBJ. We saw a couple touchdowns by Smitty from the Eagles. So were we impressed? I think we were entertained. I think people like myself who were a little bit surprised at how easily the flag football professionals destroyed the NFL players. I mean, we had the minds of, you know, Mike Shanahan on the sideline, and he's one of the most innovative offensive play callers in the NFL, and he was getting out-coached. It's not his game. You figure there's no line, there's no running the football per se. Saquon Barkley was out there, you know, juking guys, but it was still a different game. Doucette says we just don't think they're going to be able to walk on the field and make the Olympic team because of the name, right? A little sarcasm, a little jab. Ronnie Sauce in the building. My good brother. And he knew something we did not know. That this game is a little bit different. So, seeing what we saw, maybe the NFL guys need to stay away from this game. This is not for NFL guys. This is for those guys. Let those young guys play. Those little guys play. Now, they will bring a few name brand guys because at the end of the day, they want to get paid. And if you want people to watch and people to support and sponsors to write checks, you're going to need a few guys that people want to see. Unless you want to keep the game the way it is. You're talking about pay. So the WNBA has changed its tone towards the young ladies and how they're getting paid. Did I bring that flyer in here? If not, there was a collective bargaining agreement. WNBA salaries. So now people will be getting paid an amount that could allow them to just play basketball. So it's saying the first comprehensive revenue sharing model in women's professional sports history, max salary 1.4, which I still think is low. Projected to be 2.4 in 2032. That's still very low. But the average salary will be $583K and over $1 million by 2032. Minimum salary of $270 to $300 in 2026. Teams must obtain consent before trading a pregnant player. League-wide charter air travel. Champions get $60,000 per player. Most valuable player gets $60,000. And teams must have a 12-player roster. So we're talking about significance and income at the end of the day when you're an athlete. So going back to the flag football situation, why does the WNBA struggle to get the money that they believe they deserve? They just recently began to market and get these young ladies' names to be household names. So I believe Asia Wilson should be getting $5 million at least. She's carrying the league. She's the most visible. When Bam scored 83, we saw Asia Wilson. When Juju gets to the WNBA, we'll see Juju. Now, Caitlin Clark and everybody else, and Angel Reese, they're household names. So now you have household names. Sabrina Ionescu, they have their own signature shoe. Now you got some household names. You got NBA players wearing Sabrina's shoes. So now you've marketed to a point where now you can demand some money. It's not about the people that come to the games, because women don't support women. And we had this discussion many times during the pandemic on the 1585 show. Some suggested they lower the rims. Some suggested, I was saying make more storylines. What is the story? Why are we watching this game? Who does not like each other? Where is the heated rivalry? They played in college, now they're playing against each other in the pros. Like those storylines. And the other angle was to pretty it up. Nobody wants to see a bunch of women trying to be men playing basketball. You can have a balance. We understand that's a big element of WNBA and women's sports in general. But if you want the men to watch, storylines and pretty it up. I don't want to see a woman dunking the basketball. That's cool, but it's not what I would go to see a game for. I want to see heated rivalry. Going back to flag football. Not to be bouncing back and forth, but I am. Flag football to be a viable sport. Who's playing? 37U. And then who's broadcasting? They can get Spray Baby to broadcast the flag football. Lifting, and we might watch. But right now, these are some unknown dudes, unknown coaches. Nobody cares. So we got to find a way to make people care. Storylines, who they going to play against that we care about in flag football. Flag football is not soccer. So soccer has a worldwide appeal. We have no idea how big soccer is here in the United States. We don't take soccer as seriously as the rest of the world. We take football very seriously, but we don't take flag football that seriously. We like tackle football. Let's be honest, we like violence. We're mad they're taking away the violence from the football game. We can't hit the quarterback. You can't land on the quarterback with your whole weight. You can't hit a crossing route receiver without him being able to turn up and see you first, like a defenseless receiver. What is that? That was a new term. Defenseless receiver. Man, this is football. Only those who play it understand there is risk. There is a chance that you might get your block knocked off if you come across the middle. Remember when we were young and you played football and you would always hear them say, don't come across the middle? And only the courageous and the brave would catch that ball across the middle. I remember dropping the pass across the middle. The ball was behind me a little bit, but I'm like, I'm going to go in here and get this ball in a slant. We were playing Poly versus Wilson, and it was 4th and 3, and they called IO, and I had to do a slant, and Frank Russell was in there. Jim Hicks was guarding me, rest in peace. And, they had some hitters over there. That was the year Wilson went to CIF. And I'm like, I'm going to run this slant, even though it's a risky pass because there's a lot of people in there. But you go in there knowing you're going to get hit. It's part of it. I got hit, but the ball's behind me. And I tried to get it. I just couldn't get it. And it went incomplete, and we lost the game. And that wasn't the game winner or the game loser, but it was part of it. We were driving, and we didn't get the first down. But you went across the middle knowing you was going to get hit. I remember going across the middle a couple times getting blown up. But then I'll jump up and show the first down celebration because it was a badge of honor going across the middle. I remember being at UCLA and I was still playing receiver, and I was getting screwed. I wasn't getting no love, and I went across the middle and caught the ball and got blew up. I think I got blew up by Marvin Goodwin or somebody like that. And I jumped up, and I didn't spike the ball, but I was just kind of like, to prove to y'all I deserve to be playing. Look at me, I'm out here getting killed, catching the ball across the middle. When it's a no-no. My first day on varsity at Long Beach Poly, when I got brought up from sophomore football to varsity for the playoffs, and I had to run a drag across the middle, and we had Jason Jones at free safety, Ed Crawford at strong safety, Willie McGinnis at outside linebacker, and I had to do a short crosser. And the quarterback threw me a lazy, just the laziest little ball across the middle. And I looked at the ball, and I'm like, I'm not getting that ball. And they were like, why you scared? What you scared for? Cuz ain't nobody gonna hit you. And, I have all these big dudes talking crazy to me. I was kind of like, but I came across the middle. If he had thrown me a good ball, I would have got it. But it was a bad ball. It was a hospital ball. My first day on varsity, I'm not getting killed like that. That was a business decision. Not getting hit by Jason Jones and Croft Dog. Are you kidding me? Walt in the building. It's a very different game than tackle. Very different. Very different. It's almost like playing 5-on-5 basketball versus 3-on-3 basketball and 1-on-1 basketball. 3 different games. The 3-on-3 players play half court. Half court ball is different philosophies. 5-on-5 requires speed, getting up and down the court. 3-on-3 is more tactical. A lot more spacing situations, and you can actually get more winded playing 3-on-3 because it's not something you're used to if you don't play 3-on-3. 1-on-1, a whole nother game as well. 21. Different objectives, different approach. Also, soccer doesn't score enough for a typical American. Is this scoring, or is it just the game just not popular? Is this a lot like the people don't watch like baseball? We're trying to get back into it. I went to the baseball game this evening from my high school and watched some of my students play. I used to love baseball. Like, I loved everything about it when I was playing. But as a spectator, it does get a little bit mundane and boring if things aren't popping. If there's too good of pitching going on, there's no hitting, it is something you could take or leave. Soccer, I went to my godson game 2 weeks ago. My godson's game where the little guy's playing and there's action when there are shots on goal. But if your team is not getting the ball past midfield, you're kind of like, okay, it's time for somebody to make a move and do something. And it's so hard to score if there's a good goalkeeper. So you have to understand the game to enjoy it. Not a lot of scoring, but sometimes that's good because it's good defense. Flag football, a lot of scoring. Very exciting. But what American football, we need names. We need teams. So football has, to me, taken over basketball as America's favorite sport because of the great job the NFL has done in creating stars. Every team has stars. The NBA, every team has franchise players, but not everybody is a star worth paying a ticket for. I mean, the OKC Thunder are the champs. SGA is the MVP. And yet I have no real desire to go see OKC play. If I got some tickets, I'd go. But it's not like the Showtime Lakers of the 80s or the 96 Bulls or the LeBron and D-Wade Heat or Steph Curry and Klay Thompson's Warriors. Now we got the face of the NBA might be Ant-Man because John Morant didn't want it. And now they're trying to give the face to the kid from the Mavs. But y'all seen his sneaker? He can't be the face. Look at your sneaker. So Cooper Flag's sneaker made by New Balance. Shaq and Kobe Lakers, worth the price of admission. Allen Iverson Sixers. Those teams, worth watching. Didn't want to miss a game. Now, I can take it or leave it. I'll get back into it at some point. But even the sneakers, man. The face of the league can't have sneakers that are worth $35. So kudos to Cooper Flag wanting to make an affordable shoe. But nobody's gonna wear that shoe, man. I want it priced at $35. I'm 18 and I know young fans struggle to afford signature shoes. I've been to an AAU extravaganza and plenty of single moms in there, struggling families, but every single kid in there had on a brand new pair of sneakers. Cooper Flag wants to price out his shoes like Stephon Marbury did and Shaq and have their shoes at Walmart. Good for him. But these shoes are not good looking, man. These look like some cut your grass on Saturday shoes. Now these ones are red, which makes them halfway decent. But have you seen the white ones? They look like something you bought at Montgomery Ward back in the late 80s. Something you took the trash out in. Something you cut the grass in. Or paint the house in. New Balance needs their butt whoop for this. Like, New Balance has some of the best young talent on their roster. Tyrese Maxey, Cooper Flagg, Jamal Murray, Kawhi Leonard was their first signing. They think they still got, they might have Shohei Ohtani from the Dodgers. Their design team needs to find something that N on the side of their shoe is not it. Just a big N on the side of their shoe is not it. They should let me in the creative room. I can put together a nice sneaker. Cuz in here, these sneakers are trash. What would he say? What are those? Doesn't AAU team sponsor shoes for their athletes? Depends on the team. Like Compton Magic, places like that get sneakers. But imagine of all the hundreds of teams, how many teams are actually sponsored and get free shoes? Only the elites. If your son is on 15 gold, 15 silver, 15 bronze, they're not getting free shoes. They're paying. And they're paying to get in. They're paying for referee fees. It ain't the same, man. OG Neil Macon said, I think we used to call them bubble gums. Yums, bubble gums. Man, we had them Pro Wings, Payless. It was bad, man. Run TMC was worth the price of admission. We got to have a show based on the good old days, man. Richmond, Mullins, Tim Hardaway, Spreewell, Marshallonis. I mean, that Warriors team was fun to watch. The Sacramento Kings were fun to watch. With Vlade and Weber, Jay Will, Mike Bibby. Sasha was a Sasha. Who was the? They had a Euro guy too. It was a different time, man. SG Trilogy in here. Plug one. Those Johns look like Rockports. We see them look like them lower back specials. Them knee patella tendon specials. The N stands for no. Hey, it might stand for Negro, please. Ain't nobody wearing those ends, man. NBA Sparks, WNBA Sparks forward. Is she who prettied the game up? I think I know who you're talking about. James Worthy rocked the New Balance back in the day. Yeah, but nobody buying no New Balances by James Worthy. Now, when the Clyde came out with them Pumas, that was a sweet spot because Puma was part of the hip hop generation. You wore them Pumas with the fat laces. You had some Clydes. Peja Stojakovic. Peja with a nice sweet jumper. That's who it was. Hey, man. There was some squads. Even the Knicks. Anthony Mason and John Starks. And all them thugs. They had Oakley and, Charles Smith. I actually met him a few weeks back at the Athletes in Action event. The Knicks with Charlie Ward. They battled against the Bulls. The Pacers with the Davis brothers and Reggie Miller. Mark Jackson. Those are some good days, man, where they had stars all throughout the league. And every night they just didn't like each other. It was like a fight could happen every time down the court. I was just watching the video of Dennis Rodman plaguing the mailman, Karl Malone, every time they played the Jazz. In the generations of Rodman playing for the Pistons and the Bulls and the Lakers, he was giving Karl Malone fits. That was his job. He was just making Karl Malone's life miserable. That's the difference. He would pick on dudes that were bullies. That's the difference between Dennis Rodman and your boy from the Warriors, Draymond Green, who picks on dudes who can't fight. Dennis Rodman would pick on dudes who fight. It's a big difference, man. Just look at the antics, but look who he would try them on. He would try them on the toughest, meanest dudes, and never fight. Dennis Rodman hardly ever got in fights. He got in scuffles. He would get dudes riled up. He would get dudes out of their game. That was his job. He was very good at it too. So like, yeah, don't tell me Draymond Green is better than Dennis Rodman. I'm sorry. At being a pest, the worm, hands down. All right, let me take a look at my bracket, man. I don't know about you. My bracket, is it in the trash? Let's take a look at my men's and my women's bracket. Is your bracket raggedy? I'm gonna take a look at mine. All right, so my men's, I'm 30%. No, my men's, I'm 59%. All right. My women's, I'm 31%. Oh, Lord. Let's see what I got here. I'm ranked T-Cobb's picks. So I picked Iowa to come out of there. They didn't come out of there. I got a lot of wins. Why am I being shown that I'm not winning? I'm not doing bad in the regional Sweet 16. I got so 2, 4, 6. So my final four, are they still alive? I got my women's final four. If they still alive, I'm gonna keep my bracket. If my final four is still intact, I'll keep my bracket. My final four for the women, I got UConn, South Carolina, UCLA, and Louisville. They're still alive, so I'll keep my bracket. My men's bracket, let's take a look at that. All right, I might not be as hot. Let me see my men's final four. I got UConn, Houston, Arizona, and Michigan. Everybody still alive? I'll keep my bracket for now. We'll check back in next week and see if I still got some love. We'll check back in and see if I got some juice. Walt said Worm was good at getting in their head. He would get 25 rebounds and make the other team's best player frustrated. That was his job. Barkley went at Rodman a few times, but guess what his job was? To get Barkley out of his game. He was playing the game. He was playing chess. Barkley was playing checkers, and he went for the bait. I'm sure they laugh about it today, because it was part of the plan. My 2 cents. All right, so I saw some videos this week, man. Started with a wrestling video. A wrestling tournament. So they're at the podium, and the guy who won the tournament is doing the customary handshakes to the guys that he beat. And the guy from Iowa, take a look at him. Little man. Hands in his pockets, upset. Didn't want to shake his hand. After you got beat. Not because they're going to face each other in the near future and you want to keep your stance. Not that it would make it any better, but he didn't want to shake his hand. I thought that was kind of weird. And then I see this video.
Don't do something on the flags gonna fly. So your coach said you don't care.
These are little kids. These are 13-year-olds. Now I know the IE Ducks don't look like little kids, but the team was told not to shake hands at the coin toss. And Coach B said he would pull his team off the field. All right, so we played for Coach Harris, Coach Neely, Coach Tony, and Jerome. We came from a different time. If there was lack of sportsmanship by the other team to this magnitude of that they did not want to shake our hands, our coach would have said, okay, huddle up. They don't gain a yard and we're scoring 50. They don't want to be sportsman-like. We're going to run the score up and they better not get a yard. And we mopped teams that wanted to act like they were too good to show us respect. Like anybody that disrespected the Cowboys or the Wildcats when we played for Coach Tony and Jerome, oh, it'd be an extra 21 points on the scoreboard. The starters were definitely going to the sideline after we have a 27-0 route going. And we would do our best to put our third string in before we scored that touchdown. When that team that scored has to go into the sideline. Remember those Pee Wee rules? If you blowing your team out 27-0, the first team has to sit out on the sideline until the other team scores and catches back up. We'll put the third string in, let them score, and then we will keep scoring with the first string. It was beating teams 65-0 because they were disrespectful. Sportsmanship is part of the game, man. 1% make it to the pros. 2 to 3% play in college. If you're not teaching your kids sportsmanship and what it feels like to be second, like if you don't win, are you now just so upset that you can't show sportsmanship? There's a time and place for everything, even boxing and wrestling. People are so built up before the match or the big event. You at each other's throats, and then when it's over, have you seen good fighters after the fight is over show respect for one another because they are playing a sport? They're engaging in a sport that it might be life-threatening. So the level of respect is so high. If both men are sports, both women are sports, good sports. You're not teaching the young people anything good when you do those types of things. So shame on the 13U coaches who are teaching that. That's a form of hate, man. When you can't give somebody their props. What does that say about you? Now, the wrestler who put his hands in his pockets, he was a grown man. This is college wrestling. He's 22, 23 years old. He might be 19. He might be 20. But what does that say about you? You just got beat and everybody else is shaking his hand, but you're the one that says, I'm too upset to shake his hand. That's crazy, man. Walt said the adults ruin youth sports. I'm trying to schedule a game for my high school, and I have to keep in mind the adults that might come to the game. Because I've seen on Instagram what has happened to youth sports. And now that I'm coaching high school again, I gotta be mindful. These youth sports parents of 3 years ago now have kids in high school. So when we have these games and we're beating the brakes off of somebody, all it takes is a couple of mad parents to get something started in the stands, or fans who come from 25 miles away and they're upset about what's happening. We got to be mindful about that, because adults have ruined the game. Adults have made it about them. I would have never gotten into the coaching game because my mentor, Coach Don Norford, He used to always say, if it's not about the kids, get out. If it's not about the kids, get out the business. Parents, you are responsible for raising your young adults, putting your young adults in the care of men and women who make sure that these life lessons are taught. If I had my son or daughter playing for a coach who didn't teach sportsmanship and prepare them for what could happen when they lost a game or lost a match or lost a race, why are they in sports? Why? You think your kid's going pro? Does he have the attributes? Does she have the speed? Does he have the ability? A lot has to happen in your favor for that to happen. But what can absolutely happen 100% of the time is life lessons can be taught. And that is being lost by a lot of overzealous parents, overzealous coaches who didn't make it and are now trying to live through their team, so to speak. So shame on the adults in these situations where there's no sportsmanship. That could be changed today. It's not a good look. Do something about it. Otherwise, get out the sport. Tender love. Here we go. Strike it up. Where's it at? We need that track. Hook it up. Okay. For all my old heads in the building, Forest MDs. Tender love. We don't own the rights to this music, but it's part of this segment. UCLA's Mick Cronin. All right, so mid-season, he was on the hot seat. And then UCLA got hot. Start beating some teams they had no business beating. They beat Michigan State. They crept up into the tournament. They just got beat. All right, so Mick Cronin's post-game conference. Let's see if I can't find this soundbite. I know I brought it in. Mick needs more money. Here it is.
Right now, I'm worried about tonight, consoling the guys.
We'll stay here in the front row.
I'd like about $5 more million. There's my answer.
The way you're
I have no. Right now, I'm worried about tonight, consoling the guys.
All right, so the context is post-conference, just lost before the Sweet 16. What's it going to take to get UCLA back in the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, and the Final Four, and to be a championship caliber team? I'm more concerned about my team right now, consoling the guys, but I would like $5 million more dollars to get more players. Okay, so he lost our key player last year, Mata, the big guy, claiming he couldn't afford him. So while you have a locker room full of guys, you're saying to UCLA, I need $5 more million to be able to compete and go to the Sweet 16. I get it that everybody is playing the NIL game. But do you know how it probably feels to be a kid in the locker room and hear your coach say we got to get better players? When we are playing in the Big Ten and we've had some success and we've won some games, we can win with these guys. I've always been a coach who wants to win with the guys I got. I've always played thinking the team that I'm on is going to win. I don't know what it feels like to buy players as they have to now because of the NIL and the portal. But this seems kind of tender love to me, man. I need $5 million to compete. There are some schools who don't have $5 million and they're going to go to the Sweet 16. So maybe you look in the mirror and celebrate your kids that you have. Be hard on them, no doubt. Be the tyrant that you are, but you got to find a way to inspire, man. That's my whole problem with Mick Cronin. I don't hear anybody saying they love playing for him. That's the part that bothers me as a UCLA Bruin alumni. Forgive the Azusa Pacific shirt. It was free. I love free stuff. My son visited Azusa Pacific. It gave us a free shirt. He ain't going to wear it, so I'm wearing it. But I'm a UCLA Bruin. That's where I went to school. That's my school. So I'll follow them. I'll root for them. But I picked UConn over UCLA. That's my other school. I'm from Connecticut. Dan Hurley, proven champion, two-time champion. Yeah, he's a jerk. But guess what he does when his players play hard? He celebrates them. He high-fives them. He gets in their face and he tells them, good job. Do you want to play for Mick Cronin? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to stay because he has a big contract. So they're not going to fire him and eat that money because UCLA doesn't have that kind of money. They say. So we're stuck with him. I don't think he's going to change. He did a good job getting the kids to play hard the last 10 games. But when you get a ending like that and a sound bite like that goes viral, that I need $5 million more to be competitive. It's just what it is. I think you paid top dollar for Dent. So you had some money. You went out and got yourself a player or two. You got a 5-star commit recently, and you still need more to retain the guys that you have. I think that goes back to you. Do guys want to play for you? Or is it miserable? I have no idea. I haven't heard a kid come out yet saying I loved playing for Coach Mick Cronin. I don't think guys love playing for Ben Howland, but Ben Howland went to the Final Four back to back. Mick Cronin is getting guys from the portal with money, whereas Ben Howland had to recruit Russell Westbrook, Jordan Farmar, all those guys, Kevin Love. What's the dunk contest dude's name? Who didn't even play for Ben Howland, but still got drafted and playing in the NBA. All these guys wanted to play for a championship team. Now we don't even know what's our identity. Are we a shooting team, defensive team? All I know is we get beat half the time. Miss Tony is in the building. She said facts. I think she was talking about the sportsmanship topic. Appreciate you joining the show. Well, it agrees. Tony says the generation don't teach good sportsmanship. I think it's a lost art. I think it's part of it. If we don't teach it, we're going to have around and have a bunch of selfish, unconsolable, unrealistic young people who don't know how to take a L and learn from it. They take a L as a loss, not a learning opportunity. So it's up to us OGs to reintroduce those things. And that's one thing I'm going to do with the Norwalk football team. I mean, they're a good group of kids, man. Shout out to the former coaching staff. The kids actually are really respectful, really want to work hard. And we're giving them something new, and they're just eating it up. They can't get enough. Case in point, we're on the field from 4 to 5:30. They won't leave till almost 7 o'clock. I mean, I'll shut the practice down at 5:45. Get out of here. Go home, do your homework. They still out there doing plays. Coaches have gone home. Kids got their cheat sheets, and they're running their plays. And I'm like, this reminds me of when we were small. When we were in high school, we wanted to compete. Just be out there. And they're saying, yes, sir. No, sir. So that's kind of what I missed. And I'm glad we have that. So I know kids will be receptive of it because they know A lot of them, this is it. High school football, high school sports, this is it. You ain't playing in college. You're not playing in the pros. But you can have a great high school experience with the guys that you are getting up at 6 a.m. with, working out, lifting weights. We had so much fun this morning in the weight room. The guys who missed it, missed it. I'm teaching them how to box. And it's the funniest thing in the world watching these kids punch. So, I was like, I better not see any of y'all fighting because I can't none of y'all punch. I'm going to have my boxing trainer come and train them for once and let them see that it's not just Coach Cobb telling them that they need to work on their athletic ability. I'm going to have them come to the boxing gym and get some work in because punching is a very athletic movement if you didn't know it or not. And I try to show them how it relates to their positions. All the waist and hip movement that's involved in throwing a punch, how it's all connected. I said, offensive lineman, what are you guys doing? You're punching. When you pass block, you're punching. Cornerbacks, when you're playing press technique, you're punching. You're putting your hand on their pads. You have to be, you have to be precise. You got to know where to punch. All that stuff's connected. They were like, oh, okay, yeah, now it makes sense. Everything is a learning opportunity, man. Everything's a learning opportunity. I saw some, let me see, what did I see? The funniest thing I saw from the tournament. All right. So we know Gonzaga got boosted out the playoffs or the NCAA tournament. And Mark Few of Gonzaga puts his son in the game. And it's a good story. This is Gonzaga's up by almost 40 points. So he puts his son in the game. And you think it's going to be a good story where he just gets a 3-pointer and, the coach's son is out there shining. When I saw this, man,
a few moments later.
Poor guy gets in the game. Welcome to the game, Joe. Welcome to the game.
Your daddy put you in the game with some grown men. Now he does come back and throw a couple of assists. They try to clean it up. Oh my God. He went in there and got posterized. Oh. But he goes back down. He's a tough cookie. He gets an assist. He gets in the stat sheet, not for just getting dunked on. But when I saw that, I said, oh my goodness. He ain't never going to forget. Man, that time I got in the game versus Baylor. He said, what? He said, this is for the birds, man. I don't want no parts of this, man. Coach, Dad, you got me in here getting... Welcome to the game, young fella. It ain't for the weak. It really is not for the weak. Now, the viral moment, and we're talking about coaches and sportsmanship. There's a coach, a female coach, who's getting after one of her players, and it was it's everywhere where she's in her face and people are saying, oh, she's cussing her out, but actually she's just saying, get back in the game. We need you to play hard. You need this. You have to want this. Let me see what you can do. But of course, people going to run with the narrative that that's too hard. That's too much. And of course, JB from the JB podcast was saying, some outlandish report that female coaches can cuss their kids out, but men coaches can't cuss boys out. I don't think it's about cussing kids out. It's about holding kids accountable and then kids being able to take hard coaching. She said everything positive to that young lady, but people want to take it there saying she was being abusive. She was saying, you have to want this. I know you can do this. Get in there and do what I know you know how to do. And she popped her on the butt and she went in the game. And then she played better. There's a place for hard coaching. But it has to be done constructively with build up to get the most out of your kids. Too many coaches out here think they can cuss kids out and leave it at that. That's what Coach JB does. We saw him on Last Chance U. So everybody thinks he's this masterful coach. I think he was a trash coach. He cussed kids out and he didn't practice what he preached. He was an average quarterback, average coach, and he thinks he's cooler than he is. There's no need to be that way. These young people, what they've been through, what they've been exposed to, they need to be built up. Coach them hard. Like I said, Coach Harris, Coach Neely, Coach Tony, Coach Jerome, they were hard on us, man. Them dudes were some hard men. Yes, sir. No, sir. You on the line. Coach Norford? What? You complain? You sucked your teeth? You rolled your eyes? We'll run till the sun goes down. We'll do up downs till he got tired of looking at us. So we got our stuff together. I had my first reprimand the other day. I had a student who got in trouble at school. His teacher told me, your student athlete was in class doing something he shouldn't have been doing. I said, I'll take care of it after practice. So I called the kid out. I said, I don't like getting reports from teachers. Get them going. Up, down. Let's go. And he won't do that anymore. It's a gentle, physical reminder that we don't play no academics. We don't play no classroom disrespect. It's just part of it. Is that hard coaching? Is that mean? Are you going to pull your kid off the team? And I think you should be thankful that we're going to get it taken care of, because if football is the carrot, basketball is the carrot, track and field, baseball, whatever sport your kid plays, you got to make sure they know this is a privilege and honor. You need to make sure you do what you're supposed to do, because you don't need to be playing if you can't take that lesson and that hard coaching. So I'm all for hard coaching. I'm not for destroying kids and their mental health is one of the things I truly am mindful of. I feel really bad. I had a couple kids with some academic issues, one kid in particular, and I feel really bad because he wants this. So I tell him, bring me your schoolwork and let's go over it together, because I don't want you to miss the season. We're still in the off season. There's some things we can do. Summer school, get your grades up this quarter. Summer school, come back in the fall and you can play. He wants to play right now. And then he's been pulled off the team academically. So I know it's tough. We're going to do what we can. I've talked to his teachers and we're going to work together to get him back on the team. Because I know this, for a lot of kids, this is it. This is who they are. And I've given them the speech. This is what you do. It's not who you are. But a lot of them have already internalized, this is who I am. This is what I do. But I'm like, it's just a small part of who you are, man. You got a lot of life left, and a lot of it won't involve football. A lot of it's going to be you being a good young person, productive person, a husband, a brother, a father in the future. Those things will be real. Football, by the time you're 30, you'll be done. You might go into coaching, you might go into broadcasting, but your playing career, unless you're blessed to play till you're 40, you still got 30 years left. According to the Bible, you got 70 years is the promise. So what you gonna do? As I close out my mental reps, focus on you, man. There's too many people worried about what the next person is doing, or what the Joneses got, or what's happening around you, and how can I stay up to par. God has a plan for you. You. Not him, not her, anybody else. You. And it may not be exactly how you would like it to be in the moment that you're talking about, like right now. But that's part of your test, is staying on course. If you want to be a doctor, you should be preparing for what it's going to take to be a doctor. You got to go to a lot of school post-grad. If you're going to be an engineer, You're going to get ready to go to college and take those classes that might be a little bit harder on North Campus, wherever you're going to be. The preparation it takes to be what you want to be. Make the sacrifices and make it happen. But you got to stay in your lane. You can't be all over the place hoping things are going to happen for you when you are not taking care of you. So the messiness, being involved in gossip, being involved in things that aren't very important to your bottom line, those are all distractions. Those are hindrances. So I encourage you to take care of what you need to take care of. It can be family, friends, associates, co-workers, fellow students, fellow coaches, anybody that you have in your circle. What I found out as I got a little bit older is my circle has depleted to a couple of people. I saw a t-shirt that says, I might only like 3 people. And I thought it was funny because the older we get, our circle shrinks. As I see some of my students no longer friends with people they were friends with in the first quarter, second quarter. Now that we're in the last home stretch of high school for a lot of my students, they're not even friends anymore. And I was like, these are the people you're going to be friends with the rest of your life. The people you end your high school journey with. And then the kids you meet in college, those will be your friends for your life. The kids you dropped off in the 8th grade, the kids you dropped off in the 11th grade, you may not even be friends anymore based on today's standards. Personally, I'm friends with everybody that I've ever known, but I'm not in my immediate circle anymore because our focus has changed. Who we are changes. When you focus on you, your family, for me, Yeshua is number one. That lines up everything else. Being a husband, being a father, being a coach, being a teacher, everything lines up with my love for the one who died for me and my sins. So that keeps things in line. If you all over the place looking for a validation, that's what you get. So my encouragement to you tonight for men's mental health, and if I have any females watching this, applies to you as well. Focus on you. Take out the distractions, all the negativity, anything toxic, take it away. Drop it off. Pray about it. Keep it pushing. Move on. All right. All right. That's my show. A couple minutes over, but I appreciate you guys. It's always good to just get on here, have a good time, 1 hour, get in and get out. I got the sports judge in here. I appreciate that, brother. Hey, especially you, man. You're going to be in sports. You're going to be a guy with an opinion. Focus on what you feel is important. Yes, sir. You need to hear this. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Check out the Sports Judge on the Sports Judge podcast. In the meantime, we'll be back next week. AC2 will be back. Or maybe not. He's in full swing. He's about to be in practice and doing all kind of craziness stuff. So he got his own thing going, but we'll have him on when we can, update you on his progress. I think he's going to have a monster season. He might mess around and be the best tight end in America. I don't know. I'm just saying it as a soccer dad. I know what I see. I'll throw him the football every day. He's going to be special, man. And he's super fast. That's the scary part. Super fast, man. All right, y'all. That's my show. I'll holler at you. I'm AC. It's AC Sports Live next week. Peace out.